Welcome back. You're watching News at 9. Well, several countries have relaxed their ban on South African agricultural products that have imposed, or rather were imposed, after an outbreak of foot and mouth disease. Well, foot and mouth disease is a severe and highly contagious viral disease which affects livestock. And the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries says that the outbreak in Limpopo's Vhembe district led to livestock in the area being quarantined. For more on this, we are now joined by the Managing Director of the National Animal Health Forum, Dr Pieter Vervoor. Very good evening to you, Doctor. We thank you very much for your time. Essentially, what are some of these knock-on effects on agriculture and trade as a result of the outbreak and the quarantines?
There has been a fairly big reaction from our trading partners, which was to be expected. As soon as you declare that you have a foot and mouth outbreak in your foot and mouth free zone, your trading partners will close their borders with you. But we set up task teams with the Department of Agriculture in the last few weeks. These task teams are now working. One of the task teams works only on trade, and they have been opening borders on a daily basis. So our trade is now resuming at not quite normality, but we are resuming trade quite nicely at the moment.
As consumers, what sort of products pose risks and what sort of products don't?
As consumers, you don't need to worry about anything. There are no products from foot and mouth areas, from foot and mouth animals that pose any risk to consumers. So consumers don't need to worry about that at all. That is all taken care of. There's absolutely nothing they need to worry about. It is more the animals, cloven-hoofed animals, that are affected by this virus. And it is only cloven-hoofed animals that are affected by this virus. So no other animals or humans are affected at all.
Now, earlier on, you mentioned the task team that had been collaborating with the Department of Fisheries, Forestry, as well as Agriculture. How then would you describe the manner in which the government, as well as the affected industry, have now approached this outbreak?
So what has happened is the National Animal Health Forum is a forum where government and private organizations speak to each other. It's all the animal production industries. Because we have this forum, it took us a very, very short time once we knew about the outbreak to activate everybody. Industry initially stepped in very nicely to assist government, as funding from government sources is often a little bit slow. Industry stepped in, helped with a lot of logistics. And really then government has taken over very nicely at the moment, and the progress that's being made at the moment, I think both industry and government can be very happy with the progress.
Take us through that treatment process that is currently ongoing.
Okay, so just to understand, foot and mouth disease is a viral disease. There is no treatment for it. So the only way we can control it is that in contact animals with a positive animal, with an animal infected, are then vaccinated so that they do not contact the disease. And in that way, where you have an infection in an area, you vaccinate all the animals around this area, and you create a cordon of vaccinated animals so that you prevent the spread of the disease out of this area, because it cannot propagate itself in vaccinated animals.
Now, essentially, just take us through the liaison that has been taking place between public and private sector, very briefly, specifically the effects that farmers have had.
Farmers, the outbreak is in a communal farming area. We've had unbelievable cooperation from these communal farmers, and industry, which generally looks after the interests of commercial farmers, but more and more also the interests of emerging farmers, worked very nicely together with government. We are really getting very good cooperation from everybody, and as this cooperation continues, it really is going to make a huge difference on how long it takes us to control this disease. If this cooperation continues, we will be in a much better position than we were in 2011 in KwaZulu-Natal, where we took quite a long time to resolve the situation.
We thank you very much for speaking to us this evening. Managing Director from the National Animal Health Forum, Dr Pieter Vervoor, just giving us an update on that progress that is taking place between private and public sector, as well as the several bans that have been lifted on South Africa's products on meat exports.